Hello Cherries fans, hope you're doing well and welcome to this preview of AFC Bournemouth, who this weekend are travelling to Newcastle United. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And obviously this is the first in-person video that we've done since the events of last Thursday. Monumental time for the nation, and of course before Saturday's game there will be a 1 minute's silence and then one on Sunday night, and of course Queen Elizabeth II's funeral on Monday. It's been a crazy old week, hasn't it, mate? It's been mad.
Yeah, really weird. Obviously, it meant that we didn't have our fixture, so yeah, obviously things like that, a lot of things outside of it that were, irrelevant in the grand scheme of things took a step back, and yeah, like you say, monumental time, couple of days before 9/11 as well. It was just a real kind of one of them weekends, wasn't it? So yeah, it feels like longer since we've had football because of that, because so much else has gone on. But yeah, hopefully it'll be a nice touch in that. I'm sure Newcastle will do it well before the game and all around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be an emotional time for the nation, but in terms of football, it's going to be an emotional time for Bournemouth fans as well. It's going to be a 348-mile journey to St James's Park, where there'll be a reunion or two. Looking forward to that. This is the preview, but before we get started, of course it's a big weekend, not only for AFC Bournemouth, but there are some huge games this weekend too, and the best place to watch games is at your local Greene King pub. They show all major games, and in fact every sporting spectacle shown on Sky Sports and BT Sports. And if you're in and around Bournemouth, there's plenty of Greene Kings, aren't there? There's the Westbourne, the Broadway, there's a few in Poole, aren't there?
Yeah, a few in Poole, Churchill, you got Jolly Sailor.
Yeah, the Antelope. I think,
yeah, there's a few about. There's more than I thought actually when I had a little look. I thought, God, there's a lot of Greene Kings down there. And
of course, near to AFC Bournemouth, you've got the Brunny, the Brunswick, the Richmond Arms 2, and yeah, it's the ideal place to have a drink or some food before the game. And the Broadway, for instance, that's just 7 minutes in a car to Dean Court, and of course the Brunswick as well, just a short 20-25 minute walk. But whilst we're talking about that, we've got to talk about the Greene King season ticket sports app, right? This is crazy, right? The app.
Oh, I've got it, mate.
Have you got it?
Yeah, of course I have.
It's on the App Store, right? Free to download. Just go to the App Store, just type in Greene King season ticket. Right, so when you download it, you sign up, you get 10% off a range of drinks 1 hour before, during and after each and every game. You've got your booking functionality on the phone as well, so you can secure your table. There's games on the app with instant prizes. Plus, do you want me to give them something special?
Oh, go on, I don't know.
Right. So when you sign up, you'll see a little section that's called promotion code, right? Type BOTN. Oh. Stands for back of the net, if you don't already know. And you can unlock some beautiful offers and discounts throughout the season, not least a free pint after you download the app for the first time. So use the code BOTN and then you'll get a free pint. How is it free, mate?
Oh, I mean, obviously I don't really drink, but I might have that one. If it's a free pint, I think I'll use that. But great offer. And like you say, there's lots of good ones around. But yeah, we tend to, like you say, Broadway's not too far. We've gone to the Brunny a few times, haven't we? Brunswick. That's a good one. And like you say, it's always got all the sport on, and I love that. There's not that many about anymore, but the Greene Kings have got you.
Yeah, it's your home of pub sport, and it's where all the fans go. Download the app today. So look, if you're new to the channel, there's a couple of things you can do as well for us. One of them is a little thumbs up button. We truly appreciate that. And apparently there's a little red button, and as Newcastle fans don't really like Middlesbrough, they might as well just get rid of that black button, eh?
Middlesbrough and Sunderland, mate.
Yeah.
So you don't want red on your screen. Click it, don't be red anymore, and you're subscribed to the channel, so thank you very much. And we gave you Eddie. The least you could do is give us a subscription. We really appreciate it. It's free. Just give it a little click the button. Sorted.
So on this preview, it's split into 4 parts, and it includes our views on Newcastle United. We also get their thoughts on us and the fixture ahead of them. Plus we go through the housekeeping, the team news, all that jazz, the injuries. And then Tom here is going to predict both teams. It's what he does. Do you reckon you can nail this week, mate?
It'll be a tough one because we've had that little break, so we don't know about fitness issues and stuff like that. But you know what Eddie's like, always keeps things close to his chest. So he's always a nightmare to predict, but I'll give it a go, mate.
So look, Newcastle fans, they know all about Eddie, but so do we as well. And I suppose, Tom, we probably need to express how we feel about him from our perspective. He's an absolute club legend, isn't he? Absolute legend. He was He was with us as a player, got thrown into management, didn't really want to, but got put into it. And it's fair to say he grabbed the ball by the horns. And he worked one. He had that little blip where he went to Burnley. We don't talk about that. But from a club that were at the bottom of League Two, all the way to the Premier League, 9th in the Premier League. I mean,
it's crazy.
You know, the word legend's often overused, but no way is it even enough for Eddie.
No, I agree. And I think every time I see things about it, obviously the Ryan Fraser video we put out on this channel, and you see things about how Eddie come in at -17, the bottom of League Two, and then you think, second Premier League season in our history, become 9th. And you think, if that was a film, you'd say, well, that's unrealistic. Do you know what I mean? It is mental when you think about it. Unbelievable. What a guy. And I think when he come in temporarily, he lost all his games, and then they went, do you want the job? And he thought they were winding them up. So we obviously saw some. I think it was Adam Murray at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously saw something in him, and I mean, he's just, like you say, mate, legend. There'll never be anyone that touched us from a football perspective as Eddie did. And I think the best thing to say is, I reckon at least 90%, I don't know if you agree, Bournemouth fans now second Premier League team as Newcastle.
That's weird, isn't it?
I look for Newcastle results after, because I want Eddie to do well. It is really weird. It's not, I mean, they're the other side of the country, but I'm like Bournemouth first, then let's see how Newcastle get on.
You're right that you say that it's like a movie, but it's not even. I mean, look, I'm just thinking the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Cool Runnings.
Goal, the Newcastle one. Yeah.
I'm thinking that movie from the 90s with Goldie Hawn, the Wildcats. Not sure if you remember that.
Nope.
But we can't sort of overemphasize how low we were, and it's not just the football side of things, it's everything that happened off the pitch as well. And he just took it in his stride, and unbelievable scenes. Watch that Ryan Fraser video, because whilst we look, it's not only Eddie that we're going to be meeting again, we're going to be locking our eyes with Jason Tyndall, who I think is a club legend. I mean, we did that thing on Instagram, didn't we? Like, rate the reception. We did Eddie, who was 100%. Jason, a little bit below. A few people thinking of his management there and the way he left the club, but And then you got Callum Wilson, which was up there. Matt Ritchie, who was up there, and then wee man who wasn't. We'll come to him, I'm absolutely certain. And maybe he'll be starting, maybe he won't. But with Eddie Howe, he's a different man, though, isn't he? He took sort of 2 years out of the game, maybe, and he went round and he observed different teams training across Europe, and he's a learned man, he's a wise man, and he seems to have got all the Bournemouth stuff out of his system now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it's a typical Eddie, just so sensible, could have just jumped into another job, took his time, went out, learned a bit more about the game, as you say. I remember because virtually every single season we evolved, if you know what I mean, since he come in. And it was always progression. Yeah. Even if the Premier League, once we come 9th, we dropped again in terms of actual standings. But we were progressing as a team and trying to develop. And then we went down. And I think he took that moment to go, right, I'll take a step back, work on a few things, and come back when the right job's available. And what a job for him at Newcastle, and he's doing a magnificent job. I think people really forget how down in the dumps they were when he took over. They looked like they could go down. Forget about the investment. They looked like, he needs to keep them up. And they weren't even involved in a relegation scrap by the time he come in. And I went on a few Newcastle channels and we're talking, and they were all a bit, I remember at the time, all a bit nervy about, but will we stay up? And I went, you've got Eddie Howe.
Well, it's easy,
not going down.
A lazy football fan or someone who's uneducated could easily call him, he's the manager that got Bournemouth relegated. And that was one of the points that we did a video called The Truth About Eddie Howe. Click it, there's the card up the top. And at the time, when he was announced as Newcastle manager, we went through a number of points, and there were a number of lazy assumptions, I'd say. There were some that were probably true in some ways. However, that one was one of them, and I think Newcastle fans just looked at what he did the last time he was in football. Yeah. He got team relegated, and they thought he can't cut it. But it's clear at the time they didn't need a big name, a big manager. They needed someone that would galvanise the players they've got, but also bring in astute signings to help their cause. Yeah,
absolutely. Keep them in the division for a start. Get the team together. That's what Eddie does. Get them together. Get the best out of players that maybe aren't doing enough, and clever signings in my opinion. You know, Kieran Trippier, Dan Burn, really clever signings. You know, not absolutely astronomical signings, but really intelligent ones. And yeah, we used to always get the funny thing is we used to always get Dom Solanke for 20 million. There's not many people saying that now, considering he scored nearly 30 last season. Yeah. You know, so in this current market, I think we'd get more than 20 million for him now. Yeah. So yeah, Jordan Iberside, who's never worked since us, he's barely made a dud, because the other duds were like free transfers, and you know, he's been sensational at everything he does in my opinion, and he's just evolving as a manager, still a very young manager. So obviously one that's just moved on to Chelsea, Graham Potter. I think them two are the two that are, you know, most exciting. And Newcastle have got a really exciting manager. So that to go with the project and the funds they've now got, it really exciting times for Newcastle, mate. Really exciting.
So there's a former Cherries player who's actually a Newcastle United fan. It was our former left-back Charlie Daniels, and he's now got a job at Watford, hasn't he, working with the academy. But one in the Chronicle Live, he actually was quoted as saying the way Eddie's galvanised the team and galvanised the city is very similar to what he did at Bournemouth. But the way Eddie and his team have approached it and worked alongside JT, Perchie, Graham Jones, Tinners and everyone there has been different. He said, I had the pleasure of going up there before the Arsenal game last season and went to the training ground and watched them work, which was really good. The players that they've got there have responded really well to it, and that was quite a nice thing to see, actually, the players who could be too big for their boots actually responding to him. And do you remember when Newcastle United, they put out one of their first videos was like behind the scenes in training, and just looking through the comments on YouTube, the Magpies fans were like, this guy is different level compared to Steve Bruce. I mean, many managers would be, but
it did help that they went from Steve Bruce to Eddie Howe. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. He's doing well at West Brom at the moment, just above relegation. But they shouldn't have moaned, the Newcastle fans, about having Steve Bruce. Christ. But no, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. As I say, I remember talking to Newcastle fans when it all happened. And as soon as they saw a few videos, saw what was happening on the pitch, I was getting a lot of messages going, I see what you were saying now. It's so easy to like the man. It's so easy to see what he does and how he brings a group together and a city together, to be honest. Yeah, amazing. I'm really pleased to see him doing so well. And there was a lot of critics, as you say, and I just hope he can. There still is, to be fair, because people are saying if they don't get top 10 this season, for example, is he under pressure? Because they can basically get who they want in a way because of the finances. But I really like to stick with him, and I think what he's doing as well is worst case scenario for him, and they don't stick with him, he'll get a decent job after that. So yeah, top manager, and just gets the best out of his players, mate. And yeah, it's gonna be really, really weird to see him. It's gonna be weird for him as well. It's going to be so bizarre, mate. It's a shame we're bloody up in the sky, because I'd like to give him a real good reception, but I'm sure we'll do our best. Yeah,
I mean, how are you going to feel? Will you feel quite emotional about it? I suppose once the game begins, all you want is your team to win. But I'm going to feel like really strange about it. And when they score, perhaps not even if, when, because they seem confident. We'll find out their views later on in the show, but. Do you reckon there'll be a celebration from him, or do you think he'll be Eddie and not?
He was never the biggest celebrator anyway, a little fist pump here and there. I don't think that will change. He's got a job to do. It's not like he left last week. But it'll still be difficult for him. I remember him saying, I think he went on Monday Night Football with Neville and Carragher when he wanted a job, and they were saying about Bournemouth, and I remember him saying, I don't really watch him, I find it difficult. Because of his relationship with the club. But he's got a job to do, as have we. But yeah, it's just going to be weird seeing him on the opposing dugout. And then in our dugout, we got like Tommy Elphick, who was his captain. And then Richie probably will be on their bench. He's got Matt Ritchie on their bench, but then we've got Tommy Elphick on ours, who played together. And then you've got Tyndall, who's managed them, Eddie that's managed them. It's just, there's so many connections in the two dugouts, Fletch and that. It's going to be really weird. It's going to be almost, you'd probably see a lot of hugs in that before the game. But a really good football match, hopefully, mate. A really good football match. And I'm really, take it away from the fact that we just want to get a result. I'm going to be really interested to see their team up close and personal and see if we can see a lot of, that's a typical Eddie team, the way they're playing. We'll be interested.
So whilst they were, I would say, I don't want to say frugal, but more astute with their signings, in the close season, they've then started to splash a bit of money, haven't they? And they've had a few people through the door, haven't they?
They have Isaac. Don't know how you pronounce it. It looks like Isaac to me, but then I hear some people saying Isak. I don't know. But all I remember is in the Euros, looking like a good player for Sweden. He's kind of come in and try to take that reign off Ibrahimovic, and started well, didn't he? Scored against Liverpool, and they need to do that because we all know, I'm sure we'll talk about it.
And they were unlucky in that game, by the way.
Oh, ridiculous. But yeah, we all know about Callum Wilson, his injury problems, and it's good to have a back of us a bit more like for like. Chris Wood's very different. So yeah, I think that's a good signing from him. Botman at the back, I think it's going to be a hell of a player for him.
From Lille, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then they got Matty Target permanently because he got him in on loan, didn't he? So yeah, they've and obviously in goal.
Nick Pope,
what a signing that was, by the way. Yeah, really, really good. And Karras just come through the door as well. I hope he plays. Come on, Eddie, do us a favour. Last time we played against them, we scored 4, didn't we, against Liverpool?
Yeah,
but yeah, some really good signings. Like you say, the transfer fees are big because they can afford to be. But he hasn't. I always knew Eddie wouldn't go and buy 10 players in one window. He's slowly bringing them in, but I think it's more the fact that what he's done with the existing players as well. Your Joe Lintons, really made them better players. So some handy signings, but also some existing players that he's getting the best out of.
So in all our league meetings away up in Newcastle, Bournemouth have won 2, and we remember them from the Premier League era, don't we? Drawn 0, lost 3. And in all competitions, we've won 4, drawn 4, lost 6. So it's on, it favours them, but it's not too bad. Can you remember the last time we played at St James's Park, mate?
What was the last one at St James's? I reckon we probably lost that one, didn't we? Yeah, the last memory I've got was was this COVID? Or was it not?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't, but I didn't go. Yeah. The last one I remember was the Steve Cook header, 1-0.
Yeah.
We won.
But there was one after that.
So we obviously lost it, yeah. So I honestly can't remember it.
Yeah, we lost 2-1. Harry Wilson, he opened the scoring for the Cherries. But
yes.
It was at Yedlin.
Right back.
And then Kieran Clark, I think, 7 minutes into the second half, put Newcastle United on the right side of a 2-1 win for the Magpies. Hoping we don't have a repeat of that. We're going to have some predictions later on in the show, and it'd be really interesting to find out what you've got to say as well. But do you want to hear what they think of us, mate?
Yeah, might as well see if they know us.
See if they do. Right, let's have a few minutes and listen to what they think about their season, but also Bournemouth as well.
We should have more points on the board, for sure. I know it's been covered to death about VAR and decisions have gone against us in nearly every game, it seems like it, But so actually, if we got what we should have out of our opening 6 games, we should really be 4th or 5th at the moment. But I think one thing I'm pleased with is, we're not conceding a lot of goals. We've conceded 6 goals so far this season, and 3 of those have been in one game against City. We're not scoring enough goals. Callum Wilson's injury, of course, is a bit of a kick in the nuts, as per usual, but hopefully he'll be back on the bench. Probably. But overall, we're playing much better football. We're playing pressing football. We're playing attacking football. So I'm actually pretty happy in terms of the performances. So, Bournemouth's got to be, it's a must win, really, when you think about it. Another draw really isn't good enough. We want to be challenging top 7, top 8, which really we should be with the players that we've got. I think that we've got to be beating Bournemouth. And if we beat Bournemouth, then we're doing all right. 1 defeat in 7. Okay, 2 wins probably isn't enough, but the way we're playing football and the way we're difficult to beat, I'm pretty happy. And I think we can push on. We've got some good fixtures coming up, haven't we, in the next few weeks. Let's be honest here. If we don't turn Bournemouth over comfortably at home on Saturday, there's something wrong with our football club. They're the kind of teams that they'll get relegated this season.
Look, they've conceded 18 goals. I know 9 of those were against Liverpool, but they've conceded 4 against City, 3 against Arsenal. You kind of have to say they've had a bit of a rough start of the season, but they then looked shocking to start with against Forest. So it's you back Newcastle to score a hatful, and I think it potentially be, and we've probably mentioned this before, somebody's due a hiding.
Ash is saying that he's got a good point. That these are the type of games we usually lose well under the bacon gobbler anyway. I like that one. We were like a charity giving points away to the needy, 100%. We've got Roger saying Isaac to score at least, or Isaac, sorry, to score at least 1. And Stu's saying Bruce out, absolutely. Hopefully we'll be somewhere soon. But yeah, I'm going with you guys as well. I think, as you rightly say, Mark, somebody's due a doing here. And I think we played well against Palace. I mean, we didn't put the chances away. We played really well. And I think we should have done a lot better than we did. In terms of those chances, obviously the VAR thing is the VAR thing. But I think Isaac would have learned from that opportunity against Palace. And I think he'll be clinical. I think he'll be hungry for goals against Bournemouth. And Bournemouth are the type of team that will give him space as well. And as PK rightly says, if you've got a bench with Wilson and Maxi on there to come on and just run at tired legs as well, Wilson will want a goal against his old team, no doubt about that. Eddie Howe will want the win. Yeah, I'm with you lads as well. I'm going to go for. Do you know what, bollocks? I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to go 4-0.
4-0 they're going for. That was a channel called Evermore, an NUFC fan channel. They got some great fan channels actually, covering the Magpies. And what did you think of their opinions? Because we sort of heard the similar things from Nottingham Forest fans before we turned them over 3-2, mate.
They're the views of, don't get me wrong, I probably understand what they're saying. I'd probably be the same if I was Newcastle, particularly what they're saying about they should have had more points than they've got. And they're probably, if you were Newcastle, you'd be thinking, we're going to give a team a bit of a hiding soon. And you would look at it and go, Bournemouth's a good chance of that at home. But I'll tell you what that's reminiscent of. When we played Villa, beat them 2-0. And when we played Forest, beat them 3-2. Them fans were exactly the same. Yeah. Exactly the same. These would be we've got to win this. This is a must win. If we want to be where we want to be, we've got to be beating them. So that actually fills me with a little bit more hope, actually, because I think, that is reminiscent of the 2 times we've won. Yeah. So, that would be interesting. But I do get their points. I don't think they're being disrespectful. I think they're just looking at their team and looking at us and thinking they have got to be beating us comfortably at home. But I don't mind that, mate. As I've said before, I like being the underdogs. I think it serves us well. I don't agree with they'll give us a lot of. I think they said they'll give us a lot of space, stuff like that. No, because I think we'll be quite resolute. I think we'll be. Yes, we obviously against the big boys struggle with it. With Scott Parker in charge, by the way. But I think most of the time we'll be quite hard. We'll be quite compact and hopefully make it quite difficult. I don't think we'll give loads of room in behind. I wouldn't have thought. Yeah, they've probably got too much quality, and you'd be surprised if Bournemouth get anything out of the game. But I don't know. I know how Eddie plays. I think they'll be quite open, and we have got some threats. You can say what you want. I think Dom Solanke's a threat to any team in this league. I think Kiefer Moore's a threat because he gives you something different. I think Tavernier's got pace in behind. Billing shows what he can do. We have got threats. I don't think this is a given, but it's an expected Newcastle home win, of course.
Interesting. Right, let's go through some housekeeping, shall we? So it's a long old trip up to St James's Park. Mate, it's about 380 miles. We're going up on the Friday there, aren't we? We're going to have a stop off en route and then maybe a cheeky Saturday night out on the Tyne. Why not? But look, away fans, they're housed on the very far side of the Leazes stand in the top tier. It can accommodate away fans up to 3,000, but of course we've got a smaller allocation for this one. Be warned though, quite a climb, mate. What is it, 140 steps or something?
Oh, something ridiculous, yeah. Bring my inhaler, I think. It's a bloody long way. I normally go down about 38. I might have to go on 30 just to get there. Yeah, no, it's a long way up. Been there a few times. But no, I do enjoy it, though. I do enjoy it. It's normally a good atmosphere, and that's been when they've not been as good as they are now when we've played them. So, yeah, looking forward to it, mate.
This will probably be one of the first times that we've played them in where the atmosphere hasn't been toxic. So you sort of get to experience the full experience.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think one of the times we actually got McLaren the sack. I think he got sacked just after, so they weren't in a good place, and it still gets absolutely bouncing when they, just make a few passes or whatever. It's, great club, proper football fans. So still looking forward to it, mate. It will be bouncing in there, but hopefully we can do our all to sing a song from up in the sky. Yeah, so on the injury front, Callum Wilson, Bruno Guimaraes and also Alain Saint-Maximin, they've been out with thigh injuries. All three are getting closer, but it looks like Saint-Maximin could well miss out. Callum Wilson, he could be named on the bench, but unlikely to start. John Joe Shelvey, of course, got a thigh injury. Also, elsewhere, Carl Darlow's got an ankle ligament injury, and Emil Kraft, he's got a long-term injury. That's an ACL. This could mean then, Tom, there could be a player starting for Newcastle based on the formation that they play that might not get the best of receptions from Bournemouth fans, possibly. I think that's harsh on Isaac. He hasn't done nothing wrong. The snake. Ryan Fraser may start the game now, looking like St Maximin's probably not going to be ready to start. He might make the bench. As you say, Bruno may come back, Callum, not sure. But it looks like they tend to go with Fraser if St Maximin's out. They haven't really got other options there. Murphy, I can't see it. So, he may start, which I really didn't see coming. I kind of thought before the season when I hope he's on the bench so we can give him a bit of stick, but he's probably not going to be involved. He ain't that good. But he could well start now, mate. So that will be, looking forward to that one. But I'm already worried now if he has a good game. I'm really worried. If he gets the winner, I'm done. Channel's dead. Get rid of it.
Right, let's get the AFCB team news. So there are no new injuries other than the 4 we know about, of course. So that means the likes of Rothwell. I mean, he's getting closer.
Sounds like it wouldn't be a massive shock if he was on the bench potentially.
Yeah.
Stanislas, Brooks and Pearson
Yeah.
are probably not going to be about. Apart from that, I think we're okay, mate, to be honest. Obviously, we've seen the squad be announced and we were wondering who was going to be left out because under Parker it looked like it'd be Dembele, but he's in the squad. It's Will Dennis, so he's taken that gamble, which I thought he may. He's taking the gamble of just having 2 goalkeepers, and worst comes to worst, you bring a youth player onto the bench.
Yeah, so Dembele, that's quite a turnaround.
It is, yeah.
It almost seemed certain that he was going to be leaving, but not the case. Just wonder how much Scott Parker not being around is.
Well, it's
is
clearly
the reason
changed
for that.
something, and
Yeah.
it's clearly said, look, you know, you'll have a new manager now, so you might as well knuckle down and see what you can do. And under the last manager, he obviously felt you weren't going to get enough minutes, but now you might as well knuckle down and see what you can do till January and address it from there. Good to see Brooksy's obviously in the squad because you think about it, you think with the World Cup, you think you change the squad in January if you want to, if you need to, and you think, well, with that gap, there's not loads of games.
No, that's right.
So they obviously feel like Brooks could potentially play a part, and Stan as well. So that's positive.
Do you know who the referee is for this game?
No, couldn't care less.
Mate, that's Paul Son.
Just realised what he did. Craig, innit? Craig Paulson.
Craig Paulson, yeah.
What's our record like? Come on.
Well, last time he had us in the Premier League was this season at home against Arsenal. And that was one that we lost 3-0. So that wasn't particularly good. But let's go on to particularly good things. This is where Tom gets 22 out of 22. He's going to predict the teams. Let's do it. There we go. We're doing Newcastle first because it's only fair. They are at home, and we've put them in this 4-3-3 formation. Then is that that's Eddie's formation of choice? Then is it, mate?
Pretty much. I think they're one of them teams like a lot these days that can be flexible and go into a 3/5 if needs be. But I think he'll go like this at home as well, and try and get his most attacking flair players out there and try and take the game to us.
Okay, who's in goal?
Nick Pope. Nick Pope in goal, obviously. He's probably I'd argue he's been one of the goalkeepers of the season so far. I think he's been great for him. Absolutely brilliant. So Pope in goal and then Trippier at right back. So 2 players that are in the latest England squad. Two class players. I think they'll probably go with Fabian Schär as the right centre back and Sven Botman as the left. So Byrne hasn't played that regularly this season. I know he's played left back a few times, but at the moment I think that's their best pairing, and then Target will be the left back. I think in certain games they can bring Byrne in.
Matt Target was at Southampton, wasn't he?
Yeah, then Villa.
Oh
yeah, we've got to give him a scummer chance. Forgot about that. That left-hand side is going to get some stick. But he'll be in there. Then I think the three in midfield, I think you'd probably go with, just to the right maybe, it'd be Willock. Joe Willock. I think he's actually a little bit underrated. I think he's he's a typical Eddie player, a real engine, could get around the pitch. I'm going to go in the middle with Bruno. Bruno Guimaraes, sorry if I said that wrong. He may be out injured, but I'm taking a gamble that I think apparently he's been in training. And I think if he has, he's that good. I think he comes in. I think Longstaff's been playing, but I think if Bruno's fit, they'll play him. He's had an extra week. And then Joe Linton, who's obviously been a different player under Eddie.
Well, he has been, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been sensational for him. So that's a solid midfield for him, mate. Very impressive.
Okay, and up for the 3 forward players?
Off the right, I'm going to go with Miguel Almiron, who's very hit or miss. But Eddie seems to like him, so I think he'll probably play off the right. Isak through the middle, because Callum may be on the bench, but I don't think he's going to be ready. And I don't think St Max, by the sounds of it, I mean, I'd be pleased if he's not, but I reckon he could make the bench because he's good impact. So on that left-hand side, I don't think they're going to play anyone. I think they're just going to put a weasel out there. I'm not saying his name.
You're not?
No.
You'll sing it, but you'll say his name when we're singing Ryan Christie's song, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So there we go. Newcastle fans, let us know what you think. Is that accurate? Is that right? Hopefully it is. Right, let's go on to do AFC Bournemouth as well. And look, you've gone with the second half formation against Nottingham Forest, mate, because that that boded very well for us, didn't it?
It did. I thought we looked a different team in that second half, and we weren't awful in that first half. We shouldn't have probably been 2-0 down. VAR decision, as Newcastle fans know too well about. But I think we look good in it. We've played it a few times this season. It wouldn't shock me if he stuck with a 4, but I think we had an extra week to work with it. I feel like he probably would have done it against Brighton because they tend to do that, and I think because he's worked with that game wasn't on. I do think he's going to go for that 3/5. It's just the personnel he does, really, because I don't think it's going to be the exact same personnel as that second half against Forest. But I do think he's going to try this 3.
All right, then. In goal?
I think Neto's going to stay in. I don't think he's necessarily showed that he's miles better than Travers, but he hasn't done anything wrong really, so Neto's going to stay in goal for me.
All right, okay, and across the back, I can imagine what you're going for, but go on.
Yeah, I'm going to play right centre-back. I'm going to put Adam Smith. Thought he looked good in that second half in that role. And it gives you a bit of flexibility because he's comfortable, obviously, going to full-back if needed. Chris Mepham just got Player of the Month. He's been brilliant for us. Liverpool game aside, he'll be in the middle. And then the captain, Lloyd Kelly, to the left.
Once linked with Newcastle.
Oh, Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie was the one that signed him as like an upcoming player, so that did make sense. But when they signed Botman and Byrne, who were left-sided centre halves, so I felt a bit more comfortable.
Do you think players like if we get relegated, do you think players like Lerma will be looked at by Eddie?
Kelly, Lerma, Solanke, mate. No, I think they've got probably enough there. But Kelly and Lerma's not a bad shout. Maybe even Travers. Don't know.
All right, then on the right.
I think Ryan Frederick's going to make his first start for the club actually. With the snake up against him as well, who's got a bit of pace. Fredericks is very quick. Smith can easily cover, and if they want to sandwich the wee man, I wouldn't mind that at all. So that's fine. But this is where I'm changing. In the second half, we put Tavernier at wing back, didn't we? I think Zamora will still get a chance to start at left wing back because he has got that attacking impetus, and I think I feel like Zamora will still get a shot in there as a wing back. The two in the middle, I think everyone will know, is going to be Lewis Cook and Jefferson Lerma. Yeah. Who have been good in there together. I think they've both been very impressive this season actually, and were very good in that second half. Obviously, because I said that Zamora's going to play at wing back, you think maybe Tavernier miss out. I don't. I feel like Tavernier will play to the right of the front man, just because I think he offers that pace in behind, gives you a different option. I think Billing will still start. Obviously, if he can hit it like he did in the last game, then happy days. And obviously Don through the middle. So I'm basically, from that second half team against Forest, I'm saying that Christie's just going to miss out. Yeah. I wouldn't shock me if he started, it wouldn't bother me because I think Christie's a good player, but I just think Tavernier gives you that pace on the break, and I think we are going to have to look at counter-attacking a little bit more. So that's my team. There's a few changes in there that could potentially happen, but I'd be happy with that.
There you go. What do you think? Do you think Tom has got it spot on? Let us know in the comments, Tom. Well done. If you get 22 out of 22, you've done a good job there. We mentioned international call-ups, briefly alluded to it earlier. I think Fraser's been, I know you don't want to say the name, he's been called up by Scotland, I think.
Oh, was he?
Travers by Ireland. Yep. Robbie Brady, ex-Cherry, also for Ireland as well.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That was a weird one because it looked like he was never going to play for Ireland again, really. But yeah, obviously doing well at Preston. Fair play to him. Yeah, there's a few. I think we've got the two Welsh lads in it. We Mepham and Moore. And obviously, if Brooks can get up to fitness, obviously he'll be driving to try and get in that squad as well. Christie's back in the Scotland squad, isn't he? So
Columbia, Jefferson, etc.
So a few bits and bobs in there. I'm sure they've got a few. As I said, I mentioned the two England ones. Nick Pope, actually, by the way, I did see that Pickford's not in the England squad. So Pope and Ramsdale. I mean, there's Henderson as well, but I think it's Pope and Ramsdale probably trying to get a case for that number one spot. And to be honest, I think Pope and Ramsdale, I think that's close.
Yeah,
I think that's close. So that'll be interesting, mate. But thank God that's another week away. Let's get back to Premier League action.
Right. Prediction time. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd be really interested to hear. Tom, I'm gonna tell you not to go with your heart for this one. Okay. With your head, what are you going for?
I find it really difficult in the Premier League. I hate it because we're obviously expected to lose most games, and I'm one of them fans that would just be like going my heart and stuff like that. But try and take that aside and just looking at the game. Yeah, there's a little bit of bias because I know what Bournemouth can do if we play well. But even if we do, I think they'll have too much. And I'll go with what I've put on my Super Six and things like that. I've gone 3-1 Newcastle.
3-1.
I think it's that thing with Eddie Howe attacking football as well, and like a few of the fans said, they're probably due a few goals. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1, but I still think we can nick something at the other end.
I'm going 1-1. I'm going 1-1 with my head, not my heart. There you go. You heard it here first. Right, if you're a Newcastle fan, make sure you subscribe to the channel because it's not only this video. After the game, we do what's called a free-for-all where anyone can come on camera. Of course, it's mostly Bournemouth fans, but if you feel like getting involved, I'll be outside the away end. Feel free to get involved, have some chats with us. Also, we've got a matchday vlog as well where we give a raw account of what the whole weekend is like going up to Newcastle, including the night out as well, but also the away day experience show as well, which will be virgin territory for Newcastle because whilst we've been to Newcastle on a night out last season, it was to go to Middlesbrough.
Yes.
Therefore, we're going to be rating what it's like, the pre-match experience, how to get there, parking, what's it like in the concourse, whether we passed out walking up the steps, food, drink, how nice the people are, and the atmosphere as well. And then we'll put you in a tier list. There's a reason to subscribe in it, Tom.
Absolutely, yeah. We've had a few big ones at the moment. So we've had Man City, we've had Liverpool, and we've had Nottingham Forest, haven't we, away days? So go and check that out, see how you compare with them. But I expect big things from Newcastle. I've always loved it on the away day before. Yeah. But this is, and by the way, if you see the show, it's nothing to do with the actual game itself. It's just talking about the away day experience as a whole. And despite the trek that it is for us Bournemouth fans, it's normally a pretty good away day in general. So I'm looking forward to this one, mate. Going to be emotional. Going to be a bloody hard game, but if we can go there, skank a point, see Wee Man on the floor a few times, say love you, Eddie, have a good night out and get home, I'll be happy, mate.
Right, and look, if you're a Bournemouth fan and you're in the away end, come up and say hi. We'll get you on the vlog, despite what some people say on Twitter with whatever they say. We're actually really nice people, so yeah. Why not?
Speak for yourself, I'm a bit of a twat.
Why not get involved? And we'd love to share a beer with you. Actually, not share one. It's all mine. Nice to have you on the preview. Thanks so much. We'll see you in Newcastle. Up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries? That was awful.
That
was Woodgate.
Yeah.
Oh.
What was that?
Up the Cherries?
Cut.
Can't do it, mate. We're on the ball. Is that Anna Day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was.
That was a banger, that was.
Yeah. Crocodile shoes.